Why looking rich is keeping you poor. Two men pull into the same office parking lot every morning. One drives a scratched 2013 Toyota Camry. The other arrives in a gleaming BMW X5. If I asked you which one was rich, you'd probably point to the BMW. And you'd be wrong. The Camry driver has $3.2 million invested, a paid-off house, and enough money to walk away from his job tomorrow. The BMW driver? One serious financial emergency could put his entire lifestyle in trouble. Same parking lot. Two completely different financial lives. And today, I'm going to show you why looking rich could be one of the most expensive things you ever buy. The secret cost of looking successful. Most people think wealth is something you can see. The car. The watch. The house. The vacations. The designer clothes. But here's the problem. Those things don't show you someone's wealth. They show you someone's spending. A $90,000 car doesn't tell you the driver is worth millions. It tells you that somehow $90,000 was available to buy, finance, or lease that car ***. That's it. You don't see the loan. You don't see the credit card balance. You don't see the mortgage. And you definitely don't see the investment account. That's why some of the wealthiest people can look completely ordinary, while some people who look extraordinarily wealthy are living paycheck to paycheck. Welcome to the difference between visible wealth and actual wealth. The golden handcuffs. Now here's where this becomes dangerous. Imagine you earn $150,000 a year. Great salary. But then you upgrade the house. You finance the luxury SUV. You add expensive vacations, private schools, subscriptions, restaurants, and suddenly your lifestyle requires almost every dollar you earn. Congratulations. You have a high income, but very little freedom. Because now imagine your boss calls you at 5:45 on Friday afternoon. We need you to stay late. You want to say no. But that car payment is due. The mortgage is due. The credit cards are due. Your lifestyle has quietly removed your ability to walk away. Your boss doesn't need to know about your bills. Your bills do the controlling for them. That's what makes lifestyle inflation so dangerous. The more expensive your life becomes, the more desperately you need your next paycheck. The freedom number. Here's a better way to measure wealth. Stop asking, how much do I make? Start asking, how long could I live if my paycheck disappeared tomorrow? 1 month? 3 months? A year? 10 years? That number tells you something your salary never can. It tells you how much of your life you actually own. Someone earning $80,000 with low expenses and substantial investments can have more financial freedom than someone earning $250,000 who spends almost everything. Income can make you look powerful. Financial runway makes you powerful. The $1,000 decision. Now let's put some numbers behind this. Meet Jake and Marcus. Both are 25. Both earn good salaries. Jake decides he deserves the lifestyle, so he buys an expensive truck. Between the payment, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and other transportation costs, imagine he's spending roughly $1,200 a month. Marcus drives a boring, reliable, paid-off sedan. Let's simplify the example and say his comparable transportation costs are about $200 a month. That's a hypothetical $1,000 monthly difference. Marcus doesn't spend it. He invests it. Every month. Month after month. Year after year. If $1,000 were invested monthly for 30 years and hypothetically earned an average annualized return of around 10% before taxes, fees, and inflation, the ending value would be roughly $2.3 million. Of course, markets don't guarantee 10%. Returns fluctuate. But that's not the important part. The important part is understanding opportunity cost. Jake didn't only spend money on the truck. He also gave up decades of potential compounding on that money. And that's where expensive lifestyle decisions become terrifying. You don't only pay today's price. You potentially pay tomorrow's growth. Put the graph on screen. Picture two lines on your screen. One represents the vehicle. Over time, its value generally falls. The second represents invested money. It rises, falls, rises again. But over long periods, productive assets have historically had the potential to compound. One purchase makes you look wealthier today. The other gives you the potential to be wealthier tomorrow. And most people spend decades confusing the two. Why we do it? So why do intelligent people keep making this mistake? Because human beings don't buy everything purely for utility. We also buy signals. A normal watch tells the time. An ultra-expensive watch tells the time. And tells everyone you're wearing an ultra-expensive watch. A reliable sedan gets you to work. A luxury car gets you to work. While communicating status. And there's nothing inherently wrong with luxury. If you can genuinely afford it and it brings you happiness, enjoy it. The problem begins when you're sacrificing financial independence to purchase the appearance of financial success. Because the person you're trying to impress is probably trying to impress someone else. And everyone ends up spending money, while nobody becomes free. The visibility tax. I call this the visibility tax. It's not a government tax. It's the financial pressure that can come from maintaining an expensive identity. Once people know you as the luxury car guy, the designer clothes guy, the expensive vacation guy, downgrading suddenly feels like failure. So you keep spending. Not because you need the thing, but because you've built an identity around having the thing. And that's an incredibly expensive identity to maintain. The smartest financial move may sometimes be allowing people to underestimate you. You don't need strangers to know your net worth. You need your net worth to give you options. The 730-day experiment. So here's the challenge. For the next 730 days, 2 years, stop upgrading your visible life. You don't need to live like a monk. You don't need to hate money. And you don't need to drive a car that's unsafe or unreliable. Just stop automatically upgrading because your income increased. Get a raise? Invest part of it. Get a bonus? Build assets. Finish paying off your car? Instead of immediately replacing it with another payment, consider redirecting that money toward your future. For 2 years, let your lifestyle stay relatively stable while your assets grow behind the scenes. Nobody on Instagram needs to know. Nobody at work needs to know. Your neighbors don't need to know. Quiet money compounds just as well. The Stealth Wealth Protocol. Here's the monetary cipher Stealth Wealth Protocol. Number 1, buy utility before status. Ask yourself, would I still buy this if nobody else ever saw it? Number 2, protect the gap. The difference between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth can begin. Number 3, invest consistently. Don't depend on finding the perfect stock or predicting the perfect moment. Build the habit. Number 4, stop measuring success by salary alone. Measure your financial runway. And finally, keep your wealth quieter than your lifestyle wants it to be. Because the goal isn't to convince everyone else that you've made it. The goal is to reach the point where you don't need to convince anyone. Tomorrow morning, that scratched Camry will pull into the employee parking lot again. Someone will probably look at it and think, poor guy. He really needs a new car. But the man behind the wheel knows something they don't. He doesn't need the BMW. He doesn't need the promotion. And eventually, he won't even need the paycheck. That's wealth. Not the ability to buy everything you want, but the ability to say no to things you no longer need. Looking rich gets attention. Being rich buys freedom. Choose carefully which one you're building. This is Monetary Cipher. Decode money. Build wealth. Buy back your time. If that's the kind of wealth you want to build, subscribe. Because here, we don't chase the appearance of money. We follow the math.